It's 6 p.m. We will call the November 7th meeting of the Chippewa County Board to order. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remember that republic.
Thank you. Okay. Roll call.
Roll call shows 17 supervisors present, 3 absent. Supervisors Peterson, Hunt, and Hull.
Okay, at this time, I would seek a motion to approve the agenda.
Omar moves. Later, a second.
Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, then we will call the vote. Green to approve, red to disapprove.
$17 yes, 0 no.
Okay, members of the public wishing to be heard. Okay, Maggie Cronin, you come up here. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you, Chairman, for giving me just a moment. I'm from Congressman Tiffany's Wausau office. I'm Maggie Cronin. I work out of the Wausau office in constituent services. The Congressman has asked us to attend county board meetings, city council meetings, towns association, village meetings, and just introduce ourselves and let you know that we are here for you. We've been reaching out to municipalities, letting you know about federal grants. If you have a need for a federal grant, please contact our office. We have members of our staff that the Congressman has entrusted to do research for you and try to find things that will help you. We look for commonalities in the meetings that we go to, and maybe another municipality is having the same issue that you are. So that's one of the reasons why we're here. We can check on the status of a federal grant that you have. We can write letters of support if you found a federal grant that you like, and we can assist you in finding different grants that might meet your needs. A couple of the other things our office does do that maybe people aren't aware of is we help get money back for our constituents in terms of delayed tax refunds or delayed Social Security benefits or veterans benefits, things like that. Right now, here we are in November, and we have been tracking it, and we've gotten $3 million back to the 7th district in terms of those types of things. One last thing I'll talk about is passports. It's important that when you apply for your passport, that you have all of the information correct. And if for some reason you are not getting your passport in a timely manner, contact our office and we can look into it for you. We have been able to get appointments for constituents with a pretty good success rate, but give us enough time to do it. So if you have a passport, and also if you know of people that have that issue, refer them to our office. A lot of people don't know. They just sit there and go, I don't know what I can do. My passport hasn't come. So we're very happy to do that for you. If you have any questions, contact our Wausau office and we'll direct you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, one other thing I forgot to say. The Congressman always asks us to thank you for your service. He knows it's a important job that you all have, and thank you for doing what you do. Appreciate it.
Okay. Karen Lotz.
Good evening, and thank you for taking time to hear my concerns. I attended my very first county board meeting on October 10, 2023. The amount of security in the building, along with the metal detector at the door to enter, was overwhelming and intimidating. In the days that followed, there were many news media articles, investigator notes and reports, responses and replies from the sheriff, and social media posts to take in, and now there are many questions. Why was an investigator called in? Why wasn't the investigator impartial? Why was the matter referred to the DA? And why hasn't he issued a statement to the public? The board has basically admitted that you cannot remove the sheriff from office. So what is your end goal? Why are you continuing this investigation when there is no course of action? Why did the media know about this investigation before the public did? Why is this a guilty unless you prove yourself innocent witch hunt? And you still weren't happy when he did try to speak. You only gave him 10 minutes to speak and then you cut him off. What happened to innocent until proven guilty? How much has and will this investigation cost the taxpayers of Chippewa County? I have heard the county does not have enough money to pay for displaced children in foster care, fix roads, or hire additional public safety personnel, yet they seem to have tens of thousands of dollars to spend on this investigation. Why is the county board rushing to judgment? We also know that one board member has publicly called for Sheriff Hakes' resignation. Not once, not twice, possibly more than that. And I quote, on 10/3, there was a post on Facebook. Again, I am calling for Sheriff Travis Hakes to resign immediately. And on 10/11, Sheriff Hakes has the ability to bring this all to an end through his immediate resignation. My interpretation of that statement is, please remove yourself and we will stop the investigation. Is this how the Chippewa County Board works? If it is, I am appalled, and I wonder, what does this board have to hide, and if it should be investigated? Why are you so scared of your constituents and the elected sheriff? In another part of his post, he stated, this is not a criminal investigation. At no point has the Chippewa County Board of Supervisors accused Sheriff Hakes of a crime. Again, why was this matter referred to the DA? In 2 social media posts that I read, the county board member limited who could comment on the posts, which means he set up his comments so that no one was allowed to comment. The county board member also stated, I pledge to provide the people of Chippewa County the utmost transparency throughout this arduous process until its conclusion. Not allowing comments on your posts or your viewpoints is not being transparent, and you're censoring your constituents. Sheriff Travis Hakes deserves a fair and impartial investigation by someone who states the facts and not just opinions. How is using the same investigator impartial at this point? Do we really think she's going to read Travis's counter investigation and come to a different conclusion? The spring election season is just around the corner and the people of Chippewa County are watching. Sheriff Travis Hakes, stand tall and stay strong. Thank you for your time.
Okay. That concludes the members of the public wishing to be heard. At this time, we will move on to the consent agenda. I would seek a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, McGill. And a second?
I'll second it.
Joel. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, we will then call the vote. Press green, move, red to disapprove.
Seventeen yes, 0 no.
Okay, consent agenda passes. Okay. We'll move on to the public hearing. I would now announce the public hearing is open, and we'll hand it over to Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here tonight to speak with you all about the Community Development Block Grant Program. Chippewa County serves as the lead county for the West Central Wisconsin Housing Region, and Chippewa County Housing Authority serves as the grant administrator on behalf of Chippewa County. So I'm Jessica Olson, new Executive Director of the Chippewa County Housing Authority. The purpose of tonight's public hearing is twofold: to inform the public of the opportunity for Chippewa County to apply for funding through the Community Development Block Grant 2024 funding application, to gain input from the public on the needs of the West Central housing region and on the proposed activities for the grant application. Secondly, I'll report on the progress of the current 2022 grant and gain input from the public on that process. The progress, rather. The state of Wisconsin is currently accepting applications for the 2024 round of funding for the regional CDBG housing program. Again, Chippewa County is eligible to apply. They're estimating about $17 million that will be available for the state of Wisconsin for this program, and will be divided among the 7 housing regions in our state. It's not necessarily going to be an equal distribution of funds. The state really looks at what they consider fair share allocation. So they're looking at historical use of funds and also the availability of program income within each of the 7 regions. The deadline to apply for the funds is December 10th. There are many eligible CDBG activities that are available to municipalities through the state of Wisconsin. So this includes housing, which we'll discuss in more depth, but for home rehabilitation, home buyer assistance, and special housing projects. The state also makes CDBG funds available to municipalities for planning, economic development, public facilities for economic development, and some closed former revolving loan funds. This public hearing tonight is to discuss the housing programs. So again, this is housing rehabilitation or home repair, home buyer assistance in the form of down payment assistance, and then special housing projects, which can include acquisition, demolition, and relocation on an as-needed basis, and the emergency assistance program, which is disaster related. There are income limits for these CDBG programs, so beneficiaries have to fall within 80% of the county median income based on the county that they live and their household size. So for housing rehabilitation, the program provides deferred payment loans at 0% interest. So the funds are mortgaged to the property, but there are no payments and there's no interest that accrues. The loans become due in full when the home is no longer occupied by the eligible beneficiary as their primary place of residence. These funds are for necessary repairs and accessibility improvements. It's not a remodeling program. Some maybe wish it was, but it's for necessary repairs. The exception to the loans with the home repair program is that any repairs for lead hazard remediation, so lead hazards would be identified through a lead risk assessment on homes built before 1978, and then any repairs that are required, funds are granted to the homeowner in those cases. Occasionally, there are acquisition, demolition, and reconstruction activities, which may include temporary displacement of families during those activities. Home buyer assistance, again, these are deferred payment, zero interest loans provided for down payment. The CDBG funds, we can do up to 10% of the purchase price. They are matching funds. So it's the program provides emergency assistance grants when there is an eligible disaster within our region. So we've seen damage from tornadoes in Barron County, where a lot of housing was impacted. We were able to replace many of those mobile homes through this program. There's also been flooding in various areas in our region over the past 10 or so years, where these funds have been available to help homeowners make those disaster-related repairs. We look at home replacement if the repair cost exceeds 50% of the fair market value of the home. Chart is just showing the history. The regional funds began in 2012. At that time, Chippewa County received $3.9 million. There's been some variation, but really the past 3 grant cycles, so 2018 and moving forward, we've been right around that $2 million to $2.5 million on an every other year basis. In the past, small municipalities could apply for the funds directly from the state of Wisconsin, but in 2012, the state moved to funding regions instead of any and all municipalities. So they developed 7 housing regions. The requirements were that there was a lead county and the region must consist of at least 9 counties. So at that time, Chippewa County agreed to be the lead county for the West Central Housing Region, which consists of 10 counties. And so the lead county serves as the applicant for the program when funds are made available, which has been about every other year. This chart just shows the housing regions in Wisconsin. There are 7 housing regions, and the West Central region, of course, is in yellow. There's a star by Chippewa because Chippewa serves as the lead for the region. Housing needs as identified for the home repair program. We're seeing the cost of materials and contracted services continues to increase significantly in recent years. We do have a shortage of contractors in our region and probably throughout the state, which drives up the cost of labor. If we look at poverty rates in our region in the United Way Alice report, we know that many homeowners earn above the poverty level, but still struggle to afford the cost of the basics on a survival budget. So they will have difficulty paying for home maintenance and repairs when they come up. As a result of economic limitations, we regularly see that homeowners put off making repairs to their homes, which of course can result, compound the scope of the problem. You're leaking roof now. You have damage to your drywall inside of your home. So the repairs can become more expensive and more extensive as well. In some instances, homes will require demolition and reconstruction or replacement housing, which, as I mentioned, then the families are temporarily relocated while that work is taking place. And of course, the family, this is a voluntary program that families agree to participate in. And so in some cases, we do end up replacing homes altogether. We currently have 41 applicants, so 41 families on the waiting list waiting for repairs to their homes. And when our after program surveys come back, the most common response is that they don't know what they would have done without the program. They couldn't afford to make the repairs without it. Needs for home buyer assistance. Of course, we're seeing home prices and values increasing, particularly in recent years. I have some information there on the median value of housing, but the point being low and moderate income households struggle to purchase housing that will have an affordable mortgage for them. And so the program is able to provide down payment assistance and reduce the amount that they need to borrow from their private lender. Of course, homes that low and moderate income buyers can afford are often in need of repairs, so the program can also provide repair funds in those cases. The activities that are proposed for the 2024 CDBG application are aligned with what we've been doing. So owner-occupied rehabilitation funds for home repair, And again, we have a waiting list for that program. As we already discussed, it can include demolition, reconstruction, or replacement housing, and a temporary relocation for families. Homebuyer assistance, we continue to receive steady requests for down payment assistance. These loans are typically smaller because, again, it's the matching funds. And then acquisition and rehabilitation to improve housing stock that will be made available for low and moderate income home buyers. Okay, so at this time, if there are any comments on needs identified by the public for the West Central housing region, so housing or community development needs. Okay,
41 families in Chippewa County or 41 families in the region?
in the region.
Are they primarily in any particular location?
Well, we do tend to get more applicants in Chippewa County and Barron counties than the other counties. I think there are a variety of factors, but also Chippewa County Housing Authority administers CDBG funds on behalf of 23 municipalities. So Chippewa County and also the municipalities within Chippewa County that have received these funds in the past before the regional award. So we've really been administering this for a long time in Chippewa County. It's really well known in Chippewa County and well utilized for sure. But we conduct outreach to all the counties and the intent is to serve all counties in the region.
These grants are just every other year that this is divvied out?
Yes, that's how it has been. In 2016, there wasn't an award. I wasn't here at that time, but there was a very large award at the beginning of the region. So it seems like about $2.5 million is kind of the sweet spot. We've been able to spend all of the money in recent years.
Has there been inflationary increases?
Yes, loans continue to increase. So currently, on the current grant, the average loan is about $33,000.
Okay, but the amount that we're getting as the grant, is that grant increasing?
It doesn't, but the program is somewhat self-sustaining in a way. So the granted funds for lead hazard remediation, they don't come back. But all of these loans, they're mortgaged and they will eventually be paid back. Most often when houses sell, those loans are paid back. So that money comes back to Chippewa County to be used again in our region, in addition to the new grant money coming in every other year.
On these contractors, is there a certain certification that they have to have, or?
We can work with any licensed contractor that is willing to work with the program. Usually there's a delay in payment, we can't pay up front, some of those kind of things. But there are many, many contractors who work with the program. Homeowners select their own contractors. Okay.
Anyone else? Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'll report on the progress of the current 2022 Regional Housing Grant. This was awarded in February of 2022 to Chippewa County. The West Central region received $2.5 million. We started spending those funds in November of 2022, so almost exactly a year ago. And since that time, we've obligated $1.3 million. So we're about halfway through the grant and right on track with the funding. About $250,000 was provided in lead hazard remediation grants, and so that amount of funding does not get paid back as part of the loan program. We've provided 35 loans just with these regional funds, which includes 2 home buyers. I pulled out some beneficiary data that we collect. 37% of the loans that have been provided in the 2022 grant are for female head of household beneficiaries. 31% are elderly households. We regularly see elderly folks on a fixed income who have needed repairs. And 14% have a physical disability. The average loan amount is just above $33,000. And we have had, in this current grant, have had displacement and temporary relocation of 2 families. So these were really large lead projects, and the family was relocated to a hotel. until the repairs were completed. So generally about a week. We coordinate with the contractor, so when they're ready to get in and do the work, we can move the family out, and the program helps support those costs for the family as well. Okay, so if there is citizen input regarding the proposed application or the progress on the current grant?
Any input? Okay, they don't see any.
Okay, thank you.
I want to thank Jessica for the job she does monitoring all this. I sign many documents and crosses the T's and dots the I's, does a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would then announce that the public hearing is closed. And move on to reports, and we'll go to the general report, County Board Chair report on the attendance record. If you want to go to your document, putting that up.
Yep, who's got it?
Go ahead. Okay. I've got to flip through to get to mine. Okay, the attendance is kept on attendance to the meetings, and we have a policy, county board, and it says the county board chair shall consult with the executive committee before providing a recommendation to the county board. If needed on the action to be taken, the county board may, consistent with the requirements of Wisconsin law, take whatever action it deems appropriate with respect to a person who has 3 consecutive absences or 5 total absences within a period spanning 12 months, consecutive months from properly noticed meetings of the county board or any single committee, board, or commission. Such action may include censorship, suspension, or removal from the county board, committee, board, or commission. So that's the policy, and it did go in front of the executive committee, and we basically chose to do an informational thing on it, like we're doing right now, as far as what the policy is and what's expected. That everyone who was in violations is on there and has been contacted. Yeah, and so we've discussed it with them. A follow-up letter will just go to them that they are in violation. So at this point in time, this is being used more for an informational thing for the board, just to let you know that the clerk is watching as far as attendances. So that's the attendance police right there. But any questions or anything on the policy? Okay. No, I'd also mention, I believe it was this board, changed the definition of attendance of being from the beginning to the end. So if a person comes in late or leaves early, that is counted as an absentee. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So everybody had their watches set back here, so we're looking pretty good today. So other than that, if there's no questions from the board or any comments, we will move on to the business. Did you have one? Yeah.
It's arithmetic. I'm on 5 county subcommittees outside of the board.
Mm-hmm.
I attended 72 meetings in a 1-year period. That's over, 1.2 per week. It's pretty obvious why it's so difficult to recruit new board members. Anybody like Dave Bischel with a family, virtually impossible for them to meet all the meetings and so on. And I think that, I know at one time, you had 29, long time ago before I was here, and then you dropped it down to 15 and then brought it back to 21. I think that 72 meetings in a 1-year period is pretty heavy. I would hope that would be looked at so that more younger people would consider running for a county board position.
And that is correct. That's why we did increase from 15 to 21, was to try to make it so that the average working person could attend. And in the process, and the administrator is here also, in the process, when people put in their choices for a committee, we tend to try to give them their choices. So when it comes that time again for choices for a committee, you don't have to sign up for 5 or 6. You can cut it back to 2 or 3 or something like that too. So that's one thing to be after the next election, when we do the committee selections again, when you put it up there, if you put on there 7, 8 committees, and we're looking to fill places, if you put them in there as a desire to be on there, there's a likelihood you'll get more. But again, when you do sign up, you'll take a look at your scheduling and whatnot and set your priorities, because again, we try to fill those positions with what you request.
Chairman,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I knew what I was getting into, so.
No, I'm just, I'm trying, this will be coming up before we all know it here, and we have elections coming up. So just remember, when you do put on that list, if you put on 6, 7 items and we're looking for a person for a committee, you're more than likely going to get the wave to go on that committee. So use your own time management judgments as to what you sign up for. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Then we'll move on to the business items. And business resolution 4123.
Resolution 41-23, resolution authorizing submission of the application for community development block grant funds on behalf of the West Central Wisconsin Housing Region. Now therefore be it resolved that the County Board of Chippewa County does hereby approve and authorize the preparation and filing of an application for CDBG funds for the above projects, and be it further resolved that the Chippewa County Board Chair is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents on behalf of Chippewa County as the lead county for the West Central Wisconsin Housing Region, and be it further resolved that authority is hereby granted to Program Administrator Jessica Olson-Bew and the Chippewa County Housing Authority to take the necessary steps to prepare and file the appropriate application for funds under this program in accordance with this resolution, forwarded to the County Board by the Executive Committee.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
Romeyer moves.
Is there a second?
Berg seconds.
Okay. Jessica.
Well, we're seeking authorization to prepare and submit the grant application. We went through a lot of information, but of course, if there are questions, I'd be happy.
Any questions for Jessica? Supervisor Steele?
We're the lead county. We've been in the lead county in other, functions within our county here. And, discovered being a lead county, and lead county sometimes costs this county money. And I was wondering if, how it works, us being the lead county.
Sure. So I'll just speak to the Housing Authority prepares the grant applications and completes all of the reporting. We do require a little bit of Mr. Gullickson's time to sign the necessary documents, and Tracy's time in coordinating that. Other than that, the program provides administrative funds. So 17% of the funding can be used for administrative costs, which covers all of the expenses for the program.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing none, then we will call the vote. Those in favor, press green. Those disapprove, press red.
Seventeen yes, 0 no.
Okay, resolution passes. Resolution 4223. Randy?
Resolution 42-23, resolution to approve the Chippewa County 2023 tax levy to be collected in 2024. Read by title only.
Okay, do I hear a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve.
is there a second?
Later, second.
Okay, discussion.
Thanks, Chair. This is the resolution that approves the tax levy on the budget you approved last night. Again, the total is $21,110,729.
Any questions? Okay. Hearing none, then we will call the vote. Green to approve, red to disapprove.
Seventeen yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Move on to ordinance 8-23.
This is a second reading.
Means we will be voting on it. Okay. We need a motion to approve
Bergeron, motion to approve.
and a second.
Second.
I have seconds. And go ahead, discussion.
So this is second reading of this resolution that sets the responsibilities for the Land Conservation Forest Management Committee. The first of the two items is that state statute requires a farmer member on the committee. In the past, it was designated as a Farm Service Agency member. Because Farm Service Agency, the federal government body, kind of took question with that. They have now rewritten the statute to state that it has to meet a farmer requirement as the Farmland Preservation Program. So they're just wanting to make sure that someone on the Land Conservation Committee is an active farm in the farming community. The second item is, in the past, 3 members of the Land Conservation Forest Management Committee act as an advisor to the Living Land Endowment Fund. And this resolution is asking that the entire Land Conservation Forest Management Committee be the advisory committee.
Okay. Any questions? Supervisor Steele.
Does change the wording on the farming, does that affect the person who's already on there?
No, it does not.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. We will then call the vote. Green to approve, red to disapprove. And when
Seventeen yes, 0 no.
ordinance passes. Ordinance 9-23.
This is also a second reading.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Second.
Holmeyer and
I'll second it.
Joel seconds, okay.
So this is just a ordinance change to reduce the ATV route application fee from $300 down to $50. The Highway Committee is continuing to work on opening up more routes that can be done safely and has made some changes to the route approval criteria, which is the scoring system that we use, so that I don't need to actually physically go out and drive and measure sight distance and all the things I used to do, which took a lot of time. So now everything that's on the route approval criteria can be done from my office, so it's much less time. And we made the recommendation to lower it to $50 from $300.
Any questions? No. Okay. All right. Hearing none, thank you. We will call the vote. To approve, press green. Disapprove, press red.
Seventeen yes, 0 no.
Okay. And this will be a first reading, ordinance 1023, and I believe Brian will speak on that too, but first I'll need a motion. Or no, wait, excuse me, first, so go ahead, Brian Reed. Getting too used to voting, trying to get us out of here quick.
Basically, we get these events from time to time where there's going to be a lot of people at a location. It may not be ideal for parking along the highway. And so we want to be able to have the ability to go out there and put up temporary no parking zones. The current ordinance requires a resolution approved by the board to do that. We're going to be able, with this change, be able to go out there and do that as needed for the one-time events. And then there's also the larger assemblies that happen at the Country Fest, Rock Fest grounds, and the Country Jam site. And instead of coming here each time, the highway committee would then be able to approve that without coming to the board each time. And then just kind of keep it in check. I'll be required to give a report on this every year to the highway committee. So make sure they understand all the temporary no parking zones that we put up over the year.
Any questions for Brian? Okay, thank you.
Chair.
Oh, do you have a? Okay.
What constitutes a one-time event? What type of event?
Well, one example that comes to mind, like at Whispering Pines, they're hosting a lot more high school cross country meets, and they've been really good about it. They'll shuttle people from the school on buses, but the Cadott Police Department didn't want people parking on both sides of Highway X, and where 2 lanes of traffic couldn't keep going. And so we would put up a billboard asking people not to park on Highway X. So now we'll be able to put up actual signs and have enforcement with this.
No, it's kind of organized activities you're looking at,
Right.
not necessarily auctions or.
Well, it could be auctions if we knew about them. Most of the time we don't, but that hasn't been much of a problem really.
No, I haven't seen a problem with them either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Joe?
Yeah, I just got a quick question, because it'll come up in weed for me. You gonna have any control over County Highway T out there by the jam grounds, or is Eau Claire gonna shun us from that again?
Well, we control the parking along the highway, so we did put up no parking signs last year with a resolution, but this way we'd be able to just do it every year.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Brian. Okay, moving on to number 10, County Board Chair appointment for the 4th District Supervisor vacancy. We had 3 applicants for the position. 1 applicant dropped out, and so that left 2, and the person who was selected was Mr. Peter Gehring. And I thought I saw him here. Oh, there he is, back in the corner. And so I would seek a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Gehring to the District 4 Supervisory position.
Winter so makes a move.
And a second?
I'll second
Yeah. Teuteberg. I hear the words and I got to look up and find the face and the number. Okay. Any discussion? Then green to approve, red to disapprove. pushed it.
Seventeen yes, 0 no.
Welcome aboard. At this time, then, we'll have the clerk give the oath of office.
And then if you want to raise your right hand, and then you can just repeat after me. I, Peter Gehring, have been appointed to the office of Chippewa County Board Supervisor.
I, Peter Gehring, have been appointed to the office of Chippewa County Board.
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of said office to the best of my ability.
of said office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Let- If you want to move up to your front row seat, you can.
I'm good for
You good? Okay. All right. Welcome aboard. Okay, moving on to number 11, county administrator appointments. So we have 2. So I would seek a motion. Motion to approve, number 1, the county administrator appointment for the LCFM committee.
Bomar moves.
And a second?
Later.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, then we would call the vote on the LCFM committee appointments. Green to approve, red to disapprove.
Seventeen yes, 0 no.
Okay, they are approved. The next, I would seek a motion for the community, or the county administrator appointment for the Crime Prevention Funding Board. I would seek a motion to approve.
Romeyer move.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Joel Seidlitz. Any discussion? When we call the vote, those in favor, press green. Those who are not, press red. And whenever you're ready.
17 yes, 0 no.
Okay. Appointments are approved. And now for the most important motion of the evening. We have agenda items for future consideration. If you have any, make sure you get them to me or your committees get them in. Come on, and so I would seek the motion to adjourn.
Erickson makes that motion from the great city of Stanley.
Is there a second?
Miller will second.
Okay, all in favor signify by pushing your green button. Disapprove, red.
Position.
17 yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Oh, you got it.
So we'll contact
Yep.
He's kind of responsible for doing like that, and kind of give them a little bit more information.
Right.
Can we have a couch in it? Absolutely.
The county administrator.
Yes, nice to meet you. I'm Maggie.
We right now have principals on Stanley.
Thanks. car.
Been through all that, no one, and we're still using the same building. And obviously, you know, when we had COVID there, that, you know, we were looking at a projects for you. Now, we have at least somewhere to start. But because of the timing of that, we got a block. Nice if we can do it all. So now, I said it would be nice if we could do it all next year. Make me feel a lot. So we'd be heading in the right direction by getting an information.
Housing authority. I don't know what he knows.
Yep.
But we can write a letter of.
Right, exactly. Because there was, specifically, there was money that I think Baldwin put forth, and we applied, didn't get into that, but again, maybe a push from Europe would be what it would take, so.
Yeah, so that's what
And
I'm
we
curious
do
about.
have
We were gonna see if
administrator there that can handle that.
which custodian part-time.
We really have all our, yeah, we all
So,
have
thought about moving her up here.
I'll
And
contact you.
as long as,
Sure.
I'm gonna contact
I agree.
you first
Okay,
with
yep.
with my contact.
Right, and I will,
no, and I haven't talked to Carrie. I'm gonna talk to Carrie. Yeah. Hey, Carrie.
That letter you wrote to Claire regarding the refugee resettlement.
We're gonna try and move you up front.
What?
My personal feeling is
Yeah.
trust the vetting process.
you to hear.
That
Are you okay with that?
one doesn't have, it's functioning in a sane manner.
Because maybe the front row.
Yeah, the
So you, we're
those travel
because.
issues and so forth. But my biggest concern is, you know, it's a little bit like the whole
So we knew you didn't really answer that back.
you know, trust us. Well, I've lost a lot of trust in our
I don't know. So if you don't mind speaking, we can try it and see what you think.
huge impact on that county.
So my
Then we'll move other people. I said, we're just gonna make it a free for all. Grab your cake and go